Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening. My name is Mama Irfan bin Rosli, and my number metric is E23A2764. And this is my team. And today I will presenting my microbiology assessment, which is microorganism known as Lichen. So I start with the introduction to Lichen. So basically, a Lichen is not a single organism. It is a stable symbiotic association between fungus and algae, or cyanobacteria. Like all fungi, Lichen fungi require carbon as a food source. This is provided by their symbiotic algae or cyanobacteria that are photosynthetic. The Lichen symbiosis is tough to be a mutualism, since both the fungi and the photosynthetic partner called photobionts and benefits. So in the early study of Lichen, their dual nature as fungi with separate internal symbiont was not recognized, and their membership in the fungal kingdom was very much questioned. So with the advent of the molecular biology, the shared history of Lichen and non-Lichen has been elucidated, and we now know that the fungi that form Lichens have evolved from many only distantly related lineage across the fungal tree of life, uniting them and their non-Lichen relative in the kingdom fungi. Lichen fungi are a heterogeneous group. They are similar only ecologically, in that they share the nutritional strategy of gaining carbon from an internal symbiotic photosynthetic partner, the photobiont. And in the study of Lichen, the classification belongs to the fungal partner, which in most cases in the dominant of the association, at least term of biomass. So we go to the next part, which fungi form Lichen. Many unrelated and very different fungi form Lichens, including mushroom forming fungi, and especially cup fungi. 98% of Lichen fungi are cup fungi or Ascomycetes. Fully half of all Ascomycetes and 1 in 5 of all non-fungi form Lichens. Lichenization is an ecological strategy or a common nutritional mode among unrelated fungi. So Lichen fungi have evolved independently several times within the mushroom forming fungi and relative the Basidiosimites, but much more commonly from within the cup fungi, the Ascomycetes. About 98% of Lichens belong to the cup fungi, and it is this lineage that produce almost all of the familiar and colorful crust, rosette forming, foliose types, which is the leafy, and shrubby or fruticose Lichen that many people recognize. Probably more than 10 distinct major lineage of fungi within the Ascomycetes are lichenized. Current estimates suggest that 1/5 of all non-fungi and half of all Ascomycetes that are lichenized, with about 28,000 species worldwide. As with most organisms, Lichen fungi are most diverse and least studied in the tropics.
Hello everyone, today we gonna explore and talk about the biochemical pathway that enable the Lichen symbiosis. We have three main pathway that we will focus today. The first one is acetyl polyaminoid, or polyketate pathway. The second one is a mevalonate acid pathway, and the last one is the shimic acid pathway. This relationship have rely on the several key biochemical pathway. The first one is a nutrient exchange to moving food between the partners. Second, signaling, that's we call how the partners communicate between them, and the last one is a unique secondary metabolite to call a special protective chemical inside them. Okay, we move to the major synthesis pathway, the polyketate pathway. This pathway is extremely important because it produces the largest group of lichen compound, that over 80%. This process begins with the acetyl unit are assembled by large enzyme called a polyketate synthesis. The product and drivers include dipside, hydrogen, anthraquin, hormone, and zetone. A very common product in this like using acid, which well are known like antibacterial and antifungal property of product.
Next, we will look at one of the biochemical pathway in lichens, which is the metabolic pathway. Yes, this pathway is actually a formation metabolic route used by lichen to support their growth. The metabolic pathway also help in producing secondary metabolites, which are special chemical compounds made by lichens. Their compounds usually support other metabolic pathways, so they work together to keep the lichen functioning well. Okay. Now we move to the shikimic acid pathway. This pathway is commonly found in plants and microbes, and lichens also use it. Through this pathway, lichens can produce some aromatic compounds. However, this pathway is less dominant compared to the acetyl-malonate pathway, which produce many unique lichen substances.
Today, we dive into the incredible resilience work of lichen. Those often are overlooked organisms we see clinging to the rocks and trees. Lichen are not a single organism, but a prime example of a remarkable symbiotic partnerships. For the first one, the symbiotic partnership fungus and alga. The formation of lichen begins with the extensions agreements between two partners, a fungus and alga. The key symbiotic partner, the alga partner, is called Phycobians. For many lichens, the key species in this role is an alga called Trebosia. The alga provide the foods through photosynthesis, which is the whole reason the fungus wants to pair up. The second one is fungal dominance. The fungal partner known as a microbians is the dominant force. It determines the species name and the overall physical structure or the tallest of the lichens. What's interesting is that why the fungus define the species. The same alga type such as Trebosia can be the partner for many different lichen species. The third one, origin alga theory. The reason that the lichen Phycobians might be special biotypes or ecological variants of free-living alga like Trebosia. Essentially, they are modified by the close lifelong excursions with the fungus. The fungus finds its partner and the formation process can begin. As you can see on the slide, lichen are used extensively in the natural resources field because they serve as powerful bioindicators for assessing environment health. Their primary focus areas are air quality, water quality, and ecosystem continuity. What makes lichen so special? They lack a protective layer and are extremely reliant on the atmosphere for nutrients. This makes them highly sensitive and vulnerable to atmospheric pollutants. Consequently, case studies intelligent lichens demonstrates their immense utility. They assist us in the three key areas. First, monitoring pollutions. The presence or absence of specific species can directly indicate how clean or polluted an area is. Second, manage forest resource. And third, aiding conservation's effort by identifying regions with healthy continuous ecosystem. In ants, lichen are natural early warning system.
Heavy metal accumulation assessment. Lichen accumulate heavy metal in their tissue, making them effective tool for detecting and mapping heavy metal concentration in natural environment. Okay, first of all, what is lichen? Lichen are organisms form a partnership between fungi and algae. They grow on surface like rock and tree bark. Lichen are important because they can absorb pollutant, including heavy metal, directly from the air. Metals such as lead and cadmium accumulate in their tissues. Because of their ability, lichen are used as bioindicators to assess air pollution. By analyzing lichen sample from different locations, we can identify areas with high heavy metal contamination. In short, lichen are simple, low cost, and effective tool for detecting and mapping heavy metals in the environment. Additionally, forest management and conservation are also important. Lichen are a key component of a healthy forest ecosystem. Lichen are important component of healthy forest ecosystem. They serve as a food source and habitat for various animals. Lichen also play a role in a carbon and nitrogen cycle, which are crucial for ecosystem stability. The presence or absence of lichen can be used to assess forest continuity and to observe the impact of forest management practice in an area. In short, lichen help us to understand the healthy and sustainability of forests.
On the second point, it was conducted in a Canadian boreal pine forest. In this research, scientists used airborne laser scanning and high-resolution optical data to measure the coverage and biomass of terricolous macrolichens, which are lichens that grow on the ground. These ground-growing lichens are extremely important because they serve as a main food source for caribou, especially during the winter season when most plants are covered by snow and cannot grow. Through the use of remote sensing technology, researchers were able to estimate the quantity and distribution of lichens in the forest. This information helps environmental managers understand whether the natural habitat of the caribou is healthy or at risk. So, this case study mainly focused on mapping and distribution, and the second point focused more on biomass and its significance to wildlife survival. That is all from me for the case study section. For the conclusion, we can say that lichens plays a very important role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. They help remove carbon dioxide from the air and contribute to the oxygen cycle. They also provide food and shelter for many organisms including insects and animals. However, it was found that many forest areas have been cleared for human activities. Many trees were cut down and even burned, which destroy the natural habitat of lichens. When trees disappear, lichens also lose the place where they grow and survive. If this continues, many lichen species may disappear, and this will disturb the entire ecosystem. Therefore, it is very important that forest areas are conserved and protected. By protecting forests, we are not only protecting lichens, but also preserving biodiversity and ensuring a healthy environment for future generations. That is all from me.